There's Lonnie's latest find. He just picked it up from Turbo Tommy yesterday. It's a really sweet 77 TX340, and we'll get it off the trailer and talk more about it then. All right, this is a sled I know really well because me and Tommy used to grass drag TX340s against each other. Our buddy Jerome and a few other guys. We had a whole gang of us that we basically had our own class that was only 77 through 8340s. So I'll give you a quick walk around, tell you what I know about it. Lonnie probably knows all this from Tommy, but maybe I'll tell him something he doesn't know yet. All right, so it's a 77 340. Just got some nice old dry brush pinstriping on the hood, good stuff. It's got a 78 tank. That's the long tank, but it's not tall. It's got a seat that's been shortened up to fit the 78 tank. She's got a rubber track conversion, and you can see it's about a 1-inch tall track with studs, because of course we used to grass drag the heck out of this thing. You want to pop the hood, Lonnie?
Yeah.
So it's stock 340. It's still got 34 millimeter carbs. I did cut the heads 20 thou for Tommy years ago. And to my knowledge, that's the only mod on this motor. It's still got the closed face clutch, stock secondary, stock chain case, all that stuff. Tommy used to trail ride this thing too. It's been on many Iron Dogs. It's been just a great sled. But Tommy lost interest. Tommy went all triples. So Tommy's loss is Lonnie's gain.
My gain, yeah. I'm excited about this sled. 77 is the year I moved to Minnesota and got introduced to a snowmobile for the first time. I'd never even seen a snowmobile before until I was 16 years old. So, yeah, 77 is a special year for me, and to be able to get a Tommy Zeller special is makes it even better. So I'm excited to have this sled. We're gonna give it the once over and be ready to rock.
So the plan for the work today is pretty simple and pretty easy. We're going to clean the carbs. It's been sitting for a while, but it had non-oxy in it. But really, Tommy hasn't ran it for 5 years. So we're going to clean the carbs. The recoil doesn't go in real fast. The rope's kind of short. So we're going to take the recoil apart, put a new rope on it, clean out the grease, get it to rewind good.
Yep.
And we're going to verify that the chain case has got the right amount of automatic transmission fluid in it.
Yep.
That's all we're doing today.
This thing is clean.
Yeah. And she's ready to ride. It's nice buying a sled where you know where it came from, you know it was taken care of.
Yep, absolutely. So, yeah. This will be a lot less content than we're used to, but I am really enjoying the fact that I got this sled. So hang in there and watch to the end.
A little more on the history. I know the crank seals were changed and the motor's been pressure checked. Well, because I did it myself, I'm going to say 7-8 years ago. So we're going to let them go for now. If I thought it'd been much longer than that, we'd do it again. But I think he's got a few years left to go on him and still complete safety. Well, there's our first sign of badness. It looks like it's like cotton.
Yeah.
That didn't come from this sled. That's not seat foam. But
No.
it came from something in Tommy's shed.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Maybe
We'll just vacuum it out and pretend we didn't see it, because none was in the air box, none's in the carbs.
Nope, nothing in there.
We're just going to vacuum it up and keep living life. Lonnie's here working on the carbs, blowing them apart.
It's that time again.
Yeah, they're a little grubby, but it's nice. Lonnie's done this so many times now. I don't have to do it for him. I don't even have to give him any instructions anymore.
Yeah, you don't even have to get your hands dirty, man.
Nope, just hold the camera. This is why you always clean the carbs on a used sled. Even though it came from a good home, it sat for a while. Got some crap to get out of there. There is some pitting that makes it look worse than it really is, but there's definitely some junk in there we're going to get cleaned out. Yeah, here we go. We got lots of crud down in the well, crud down in the hole. That was an O-ring at one point. I think we're going to find a new one of those pieces. Well, see how the crud... Oh, look at how nice the crud peeled off.
It is in there.
But I do have O-rings,
Yeah.
so we'll do some new O-rings, and when we get there, I'll show you what size O-rings that we use. I buy a bag of 100 of them. All right, here we are at the carb cooker. We're going to make some carburetor soup. And we got the little bucket full of the smalls. And we'll come back in a half an hour. All right, we're getting the pipe out of there. We're going to have it out of there eventually to check the chain case oil, and it's not really in the way for the recoil, but why wouldn't we? I need a recoil class today. He's never done one. I've always done them for everybody in the gang.
Yep.
So Lonnie's all anxious to rip this nut off, but things go kind of kittywampus sometimes.
Yeah.
So what we want to do, when you take the nut off, you want to make sure you're holding this. You can untie the knot, and then slowly let it wind up. Even if it sucks the rope all the way in, keep your thumb on it so it doesn't go haywire.
Got it.
Slowly, and it's a 13 millimeter, I believe. I'll go get you one. So you can let the rope go in before you do the nut. Ready?
Okay. Yep.
All right, Lonnie's going to let the rope go in slow. You know, not make the spring go sproing. We're putting a new rope on. We're going to clean it. We're pulling the pulley all the way off, which we rarely do.
Let it go all the way?
You let her go all the way, just nice and easy. Beauty.
Yep.
All right. Don't preload it the other way, though. Now go ahead and take the nut off. Now there's this little spring right here that's tricky, and we'll get to that later. That's the part that'll make you swear.
Okay. No swearing on these videos.
No. Well, maybe.
Damn it.
A little bit of bullshit. So you notice that nut was tightened all the way down hard against the stop.
Yes, sir.
And if we have to have it loose to make it rewind, we did not get it together correctly. Yep, that's a little spring on the cover.
Keep the thumb on it.
Yep, there's a spring under there. You can probably just let her do whatever she wants to do. Okay, real good. So we got that spring, and then notice when you flip it over, we've got this copper washer, which should have a D in it. Well, she's pretty rounded out. It did have a D in it that mated with the shaft at one point. So you should go ahead and let that go now. Just let it freewheel. Yep. And then just take your stuff off, and when it's time to put it back together.
Oh, all right. We got little stuff.
Oh, we got little stuff.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. So we're gonna the real lesson isn't how to take it apart. The real lesson's in how to put it back together.
Yeah, I see these springs are actually tied into these.
Into the pawls. Yeah.
Pawls. Okay.
So you can just take them off right now, and you notice they sit between these two plastic discs.
Yes, sir.
On the pawls. So that's all go back together.
Okay.
And this other little spring here, sometimes I don't use this other little spring, but sometimes I do. I have had equally good luck with and without it. I know there's somebody that's going to say it's absolutely necessary. Somebody will say they've never seen one.
I just want to see where it lives.
It lives right in that hole there. Yeah, there's a hole in each of those.
Okay.
And then you can take the pawls out. And then you're going to very gently lift that off the winding spring. Because we have to clean that, because this doesn't retract very good. And there'll be grease and stuff.
Felt something drop.
I heard it go tick.
Yep.
That's okay.
Is that good or bad?
It's fine.
Okay.
Yep. So, good. Your rewinding spring looks okay. But you can, there's a washer in here we can dump out. We can get the rope out. You're pretty far apart right now.
That one's got the D in it.
Yep.
Okay.
You can get the rope out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to spray this all out with brake clean, but we're going to leave the spring in there. And on the bottom side of the pulley, we're gonna get this all clean too, because this is super sticky and gummy.
Yeah, it's very sticky.
That, and then down here on the spring, those are what's making it rewind slow.
Okay.
In fact, I'm gonna do this part for you. I'm gonna get a needle nose vice grip and show you how to get that spring out of there without it doing anything too bad. I'm gonna take the spring out, and at this point, I got it clamped on the needle nose, and I honestly think I'm gonna rewind it before all's said and done. But it does come right out if you do that. we want to get the sticky grease out of there and off of the spring. There's a bunch that's actually like in the windings on the spring. That's the main problem. So I think I am going to let that thing loose slowly, and then we'll degrease it before we put it back together. Meanwhile, Lonnie's fighting with the rope. There we go. All right. Good job. You want to film me doing the thing nobody should ever do?
Yeah.
But this thing is so greasy, and that's what's really making it rewind slowly, is that amount of grease. So I've wound these up before. We'll do it again. If that didn't just make you cringe watching me do this, then you're not even human. But look at the grease on my fingers just from unwinding it.
Yep.
That's our problem. So we got to get this thing outside, and we're going to get all these parts cleaned with brake cleaner.
Yeah. That thing is really dirty.
Yep. And then we'll wind her up again, show you how to drop her back in.
Sounds good.
All right, I'm going to wind up the spring. Lonnie's going to film me. I know this is Lonnie's learning how to do recoil video, but he's never seen the spring rewound before, and probably some of you haven't either. It can get pretty intense, especially if it gets away from you, but I've done it a few times, and I'll probably be okay.
All right, buddy, let's give her a try.
All right, so first thing is, you got to know which way the spring goes on. And the spring, you can put it this way. Notice the direction on the end. Here, we'll put it over on the white. Notice the direction of the end, or you can put it this way. Now the spring is going to wind up as you pull the rope. So the rope exits that way. So the way I'm holding it right now is the correct direction on the spring. If you put it in upside down, well, it just doesn't work. It just winds the wrong way and it won't rewind. So it's not that intense or that hard to wind up the spring. It just takes a little while. You can see I had it pretty tight, but by the time I get the tail tucked in, she walks out loose again. That's always what happens. So you gotta get your spring tighter than it needs to be to fit in there, because it's gonna slack off. And when you buy a new spring, they're super tight. I mean, there's no two ways about it. When you buy a new spring, it's tight. So you get it up there, and then the tricky part is to get it clamped in your little vice grip. Not crazy tight, you don't want to damage anything. Do a little test fit. Can you get it in there? Yep. So see, I've got it within the boundaries of the four little protrusions that center it. And now, here's the tricky part. Now I'm going to let her fly. Slowly, let her expand out. And see, that's the direction that it's going to recoil, and you see that would have pulled the rope in as it went. So, that's it. That's the spring winding. I made that look way too easy. I've done it 100 times, probably literally 100 times.
Nicely done.
Thanks. Now, you got to catch it on this little opening here. That opening has to land right on the hook. And what I do, the main thing to note is the opening lines up with this slot. The slot to line the rope around. So if you know where that hook is, bada bing, bada boom. Okay, and then you can wind it and see. Now, it didn't go down. It didn't hook. That can be a challenge sometimes. It's actually not hooking because it's on this center protrusion. So you got to kind of get it to where it's going to go. Come on, buddy. All right, so sometimes you have to tweak the end to get it to go back properly. And in this case, we're going to tweak it, move it. I mean, it'd be so simple if you could just reach in there with your fingers when you're dropping it down. Maybe I can do a little bit of this action as I drop it in. Just got to hold it like that, just off the center. Get my slot lined up right.
There she went.
There we went, and we've got to test it and make sure we're hooked. So we're going to wind her quite a few times so that if it's just barely caught, it's going to slip off. But no, we're hooked. We're hooked. All right, next is the rope. I'll show you how much rope it takes. It takes, I'll put about an extra foot. I use 7 feet. So, right there, that's how much rope I use every time. I just clip her right there. I don't know, we'll stop the camera for a second. All right, we're gonna get the rope in. So first Lonnie's gonna heat up the end, and then he's gonna use his fingers to kind of make it pointy, because if you leave a big round ball on the end, you'll never get it through. Yeah, it's hot. You can use a needle nose if you want to. Perfect. Here, you want to do the same thing on this one so it doesn't get all frayed and ugly on the spool?
Could be a good idea.
Oh, carbs are done. I just heard the carb cooker shut off.
Good timing.
They can sit in there. We'll get the recoil done before we get back to the carbs. All right, so back to this. Always wind it like you're pulling the rope out so that you keep tension on the spring, and you'll just feed it right in and right through that slot. Get it to the middle, grab it with the needle nose, yank it out, do a double knot. You can leave a big long tail. There's room. And the longer the tail you leave, the safer it is. Yep. You leave a short tail every once in a while, the knot will creep that extra at 3/8 of an inch before it tightens up, and that's bad. All right, real good. So get your knot down in there. Shove all your rope into the middle. Yep, perfect. All right, now what I want you to do is grab the rope right in the middle there, right in that opening, and pull it up. Yep. And you're going to use that notch and wind it this way. Wind it against the spring. No, other way, against the spring at least 6 times. You can just hold the outside and just guide it with the rope. That's what I do. Here, you want me to show you?
I got you.
You got it?
Yep.
So
1.
And you can fine tune this. Whoa, coming up there.
Yep.
All right, let's stop there at 3 winds and just put a knot on the outside. You gonna go 4?
Yep.
All right, but we don't have to wind it fully. I just don't want it to start climbing up. So go ahead and just put a knot out there. We'll do the rest of the winds later. We can do those at any time, but I just like to have it tensioned a bit for this next part. I hope people enjoy this. I don't know how they're going to feel about it. All right, so now it's just reverse order. So we had the one washer, not this one, but the one with the big hole. Similar. It's out here somewhere. Where'd it go? Where did he go? Oh, we lost a washer. Didn't get outside, did it?
No.
All right, we're going to take a break while we find the missing washer. Our missing washer, Lonnie found it stuck to the bottom. So we're going to proceed again. Yep, go ahead. That washer goes on. You can see it's got the keyway there. And going to drop that thing all the way down, and then this spring goes on it. Actually, you might want to put this little spring in first. Yeah. So remember the tail, and then this little neck part goes up. Yep. He's always a battle when it comes to the end to use him.
Okay.
Yep. All right, now you want to wipe these off and drop those into place. All right, so lay this one on this one. I just want to show you they're 2 different diameters, and you have to put the small one on first, or else the big one will have the holes covered for the springs.
Yep.
Yep.
So you just want to put your springs on with this big hump to the outside and hook it in each pawl. So
You're right.
This is why it's really easy to do a rope and really hard to do a full rebuild, is winding the spring, getting these guys in place. And these Fuji recoils are really, they're pretty easy. There's nobody breathe. Now we put that top washer on. Yep. And now the cover goes on, but here's the trick. Oh shoot. We got that other little spring. We got to dig that guy out and get the end of it up. All this spring does is assist it in returning the pawls. I've put together so many without that spring, and we're back to ground zero.
We're back to zero.
Here, go ahead and pull this out. We can drop that in at the end, and go ahead and get that other spring up. We can drop this coil in.
Yeah.
Last thing.
Right.
But this thing, yeah, if you have to have that up, because if you don't, you'll disturb the other three springs every time. That's just how life goes on these things. Man, they're fiddly.
Got it.
Okay. Is it? Man, they're fiddly. All right, you can put that, you can put that washer on, and that'll...
Yeah, but I need to lift that up.
You want to like a dental pick? Oh, there you go. All right, now we're going to drop the coil in carefully. And then that tab on the washer has to hook through. You could see which one it was in, I think. There's a little bit of dirt on it. Yeah. Got to hook it in there. It's not easy. I struggle. That's all there is to it. I struggle. All right, hang on. I'm going to get a dental pick. Or did you get it?
Yep. Just like that.
All right. I'm not 100% sure we're good, but we're putting that washer on, putting that one on, and we're going to tighten that. And this is, there's no, here, you can tighten it.
All the poles came out.
Well, we'll pull on the rope in a second after you tighten that, and we'll see if we screwed it up or not.
Okay.
That's the question. I think we actually needed to wind that one. That's tight enough.
Yep.
All right, pull on the rope and see what it does. I think it's screwed up. Oh.
Nope.
It's not screwed up.
It is working. Look at that.
Well, there we go. Tighten up the bolt, and Success. Congratulations.
My first recoil.
That's and you did the hard way. You didn't just do the rope. That's a bitch.
Right on.
All right, don't break her. Now, do the pawls stay in? I think they do. Pull it a few more times. Wow, look at that. Look at that, Lonnie. Good
Nice.
job.
Thanks, man.
All right, now
End of class.
tie this, tie that, and just tie it around a screwdriver or something. And we're going to make sure that we're rewinding to the right tension. We might have to add a couple winds on. Remember, we stopped after about 4.
Yes, sir.
And you let the other end, let it loose at the recoil, and let's just figure that out real quick. Not quite end of class. Still got to get it tensioned right.
Got it.
All
All right, let her go in.
She's in.
Oh,
Dang it.
all right. So
Oh, wait a minute. There we go.
just sticking.
Yep.
All right. No. Don't ever do that.
Okay.
You could have just unhooked it from the spring.
Gotcha.
Don't ever wind it by hand to suck in the rope.
Gotcha.
Big mistake. All right, so use this and put a few more winds on it. At least 3 for now. All right, let her pull in and find out, see how your tension is. Okay, so your rope, this is fine, because remember, we got a good foot of rope up to where the recoil comes out the dash. Here, why don't you hold that and let me check this. Oh, yeah. That's fine. See, it's the rope binding right there. But when we tighten up your recoil, we'll tighten it up. We'll maybe trim some excess off. But look at that. We're doing a full 6 foot plus. And it's catching right there. But I feel like I want to give it one more, just to have it be nice and strong. You don't want to go too far. You don't want to overstress and break the spring. But, oh, that feels really good. I'm going to pull it all the way out, because if we're going to have a problem, I want to know right now. Nope. All right. Recoil done. Success. Recoil test. We got the ignition off. We don't have any carbs. We did pull the rags out of the carb boots, though.
Oh, yeah. That is way smoother.
Good
Nice.
deal. Goes right in.
Yep.
Perfect. Part 1 got pretty long, as you can see. I hope you enjoyed the master class in rebuilding a recoil. That is literally all there is to it, because that is every single part out, cleaned, and put back together.
Yeah, that's I mean, for most of us, that's going to be pretty scary, especially taking that spring and letting it unwind like that. But you know, watching you do it and understanding now what the tricks are, I think we can do that.
Well, I'll admit the first time I did it, it didn't work out so well. But then again, I was probably 12 years old the first time I did that, so that's life.
Yep.
All right, so don't forget to subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, check out my Patreon if you want to see some behind the scenes and early releases of the videos, that kind of thing. And I don't know, we'll see you on the trails.
See you on the trails, folks.